Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. Today is the weekend. So for my weekend editorial, let's go with a light topic. So I have no 3 stories. Neither do I have any 3 topics. But I want to tell you a case study. You see, in 1977, the world saw the birth of one of the most iconic brands. And the name of this brand was Apple. Now, Apple was launched by Steve Jobs. The brand grew and it made a lot of name for itself and so on and so forth. In 1997, Apple almost went bankrupt, absolute bankrupt. In fact, the whole world was thinking that Apple will actually go off the face of this earth. They will close down. I want to talk about that resurrection story of Apple. And I will tell you why I am saying this story. First and foremost, they say Microsoft helped Apple to resurrect itself, which is a big thing by itself, but that's a different case study. But what Apple did is Apple changed itself as a brand. It changed the sheer brand architecture of Apple. Apple always spoke about technology. Apple always spoke about technological advancement, latest technology. Apple wanted to be seen as one of the most technological advanced companies. And what Apple did after that is Apple, after 1997, in 1998, 1999, changed itself and said, "Bhai, technology is not what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about innovation." So when they changed their brand, they repositioned their brand, they changed their thought. They said technology is a producer's claim. Innovation is what a consumer buys. So they moved from saying we are a high-tech company to a company which is innovative.
With a revolutionary user interface is the result of years of research and development. And of course, it's an interplay of hardware and software. Now, why do we need a revolutionary user interface? I mean, here's 4 smartphones, right? Motorola Q, the BlackBerry, Palm Treo, Nokia E62, the usual suspects. And what's wrong with their user interfaces? Well, the problem with them is really sort of in the bottom 40 there. It's this stuff right here. They all have these keyboards that are there whether you need them or not to be there. And they all have these control buttons that are fixed in plastic and are the same for every application. Well, every application wants a slightly different user interface, a slightly optimized set of buttons just for it. And what happens if you think of a great idea 6 months from now? You can't run around and add a button to these things. They're already shipped. So what do? It doesn't work because the buttons and the controls can't change. They can't change for each application, and they can't change down the road if you think of another great idea you want to add to this product. Well, how do you solve this? It turns out we have solved it. We solved it in computers 20 years ago. We solved it with a bitmap screen that could display anything we want, put any user interface up, and a pointing device. We solved it with the mouse, right? We solved this problem. So how are we going to take this to a mobile device? Well, what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. A giant screen. Now, how are we going to communicate this? We don't want to carry around a mouse, right? So what are we going to do? Oh, a stylus, right? We're going to use a stylus. No. No. Who wants a stylus? You have to get them and put them away and you lose them. Yuck. Nobody wants a stylus. So let's not use a stylus. We're going to use the best pointing device in the world. We're going to use a pointing device that we're all born with. We're born with 10 of them. We're going to use our fingers. We're going to touch this with our fingers. And we have invented a new technology called multi-touch, which is phenomenal. It works like magic.
The first thing Apple did to reposition itself is it changed itself. It changed its thinking. Apple told their consumers that, you see, we are into innovation. So every time you buy an Apple product, you will be surprised. You will be surprised with our innovation. I think 2007, they went on to launch their iPhones. And then, of course, there was no looking back. But every Apple product, when you bought an iPhone, there's an old pack. So when you bought an iPhone, the pack was pristine white. And there was this embossed iPhone on top of it. Every time you open the pack, and the way things are would surprise you. The way the wires were kept would surprise you. Everything about it would surprise you. When the whole world was talking about, headphones, Apple came out with something innovative and said, now there will be no headphones, there will be iPod. And this thing happened. They launched a product which is a wireless system, and which has got its own pouch. You keep that, remove, and it works as a headphone. Every time, every product, every packaging, Apple surprised you. And that's what Apple was. Apple was relaunched. Today, it is probably one of the biggest and one of the most successful companies, and like I said, iconic brands in the world. Why am I talking about Apple? I am talking about Apple is because the Congress Party is planning to do something similar. The Congress Party wants to do something similar. It's almost in the same position. Dominated this country for 70 years, and all of a sudden it is fighting for its survival. The proposed plan by the President of Congress, Rahul Gandhi, is he said, listen, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit is because, listen, ultimately I have to be accountable. We were beaten very badly in the elections, so I'm resigning. I take the responsibility. My question is, by changing the management, will that be all? Will that solve all Congress problems? Like Apple, the first thing that Congress has to do is change its thinking. Like Apple realized, they have to first realize who they are talking to. The people they are talking to, do they understand technology or they are enamored by innovation? Congress is talking to the youth. They have to ensure that dynasty politics is over by sheer resignation of Rahul Gandhi. That doesn't connote to the audience. They have to ensure that there are 250 Hardik Patels, 250 Jignesh Mewanis coming down from the grassroots as Congress leaders once again in the next 5 years. And these 250 leaders will communicate to the rest of the country that that there is a thought change in Congress. And that's rebranding, that's repositioning, that's repackaging. You see, in advertising, there's a very simple saying. The best way to tell them is to show them. And I'm going to show you something. This, what you see in your screen, is what Congress looks today. You see Sonia Gandhi to your right. You see Rahul Gandhi in the center. You see Manmohan Singh. If Congress was a product and if this was the package, this is how the Congress package looks to you today. I am talking pure visuals. What Rahul Gandhi today intends to do is remove himself and put somebody like an Ashok Gehlot into the picture. So this is how the new package should look. Now mind you, what we are discussing here are just theories. We are not discussing names, specific names or specific individuals or how good they are or how bad they are. We are not discussing all of that. We are just trying to discuss a theory here. So please take it in that spirit. So coming back to my point. Here you are again in front of you, the new improved look of Congress. My question to you viewers is that, do you think, looking at this visual, do you think Congress has changed? Possibly the chances are no, and absolutely correct. I don't think people will accept as a changed Congress. This is not a changed Congress. This is the old wine in a new bottle. Nothing more, nothing less. The earlier power was in the center with Rahul Gandhi. Now it will shift to Sonia Gandhi back again. And there will be a gentleman who will be sitting in the center just like a puppet. Whether that is a fact or not fact, that's for a different debate, different discussion. But the fact remains that this is what 99.9% India is going to think. So are you going to bring about a change? The answer is no. Now coming back to the same point of view, like I said, let's visually represent it. Now, if Congress really have to go out and tell the youth of this country, who now actually is going to matter because they are the bulk of the voters, to tell the youth of this country that, listen, Congress has completely changed, Congress needs to look something like this. A youth face in the center, a very, very efficient face in the right and the left. People who are suave, people who relate to youth, people who youth look up to and who inspire the youth. This is the face and this is the new Congress. Now, mind you, again, like I said, please don't go by the names. We can debate the names in a different session. But if Congress is genuinely seeking a change, if Congress is genuinely talking about a rebranding, this is how Congress should look. I go back to my case study of Apple. And the most important thing, like I said before, I repeat myself, the change in the mind. People are used to seeing Congress dynasty. Father was a minister, father was a Congress member, son is now come to Congress. People are used to change to see dynasty. You need to show them people, show new Congress faces who have come from ground level, who have worked on the ground, come up. People like Hardik Patel, people like Jignesh Mewani, people who have come, young people who have come from the ground, who fought their battles and came from the ground. Whether you agree to them or not is a different issue. Again, like I said, I am taking a case in point. So that's the first thing. The second thing is very interesting. The second thing is, you see, I was reading a book and I was reading a quote of Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya. And it was a beautiful quote. The quote was, he was speaking to somebody where, there is a concept that for every day there is a night. हर एक दिन को एक हर एक रात को एक सवेरा है. That talk we all say, for every night there is a day. And he was telling somebody that, listen, it is not necessary that there is a day for every night. There is a day for every night when you think the paradigm is earth. When you go to sun, there is no night. There is only day. You change the paradigm and things are very different. The problem with most of us, when we think of competition, when we think of market, when we think of marketing, is we think of the paradigm that we are in, the situation that we are in, the environment that we are in, and then we try to innovate in that. The fact is, if you think differently, if you change the paradigm, possibly the innovation will be far better and far more effective. Why am I saying this? All this while, we were saying 2024, there is nobody against Narendra Modi. To a very major extent, fact. There is nobody today to compete with Narendra Modi. He is a towering personality, at least as of today. Tomorrow, I don't know, but today. And what are we all doing? Will Rahul Gandhi be capable to fight Narendra Modi? Or who is going to come up and fight Narendra Modi? Who is going to do that? Who is going to be that big? Who is going to come to make themselves into that tall personality to fight Narendra Modi? Who can do that? That's the question we are asking ourselves. I am saying, let us change the paradigm. Let us change the paradigm. What if it is not Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi? Then why should it be? What if it is Narendra Modi versus a dream team? Versus, what if it's Narendra Modi versus 7 people? Finally, the job that you're looking for is a person or a group that can run this country. If you can't find one man, one leader who can sit and compete with Narendra Modi, why can't you create a group of people in the next 5 years who can manage India at the best possible level? And they become the competition. You see, once upon a time, earlier days, Australia was one cricket team that was known because of the team they are, not because of stars. India had the Sachin Tendulkars and the Virendra Sehwag those days. But Australia, more often than not, had, of course, they had their McGrath and they had their Waugh and all of that. But Australia was always known as a potent team. Both were good. Both were good examples. Both were good products. Both were good brands. But it is not necessary that to combat a Narendra Modi, you need to create another Narendra Modi. It is not necessary. To combat a Narendra Modi, you can have a team, a dream team that can do the same job that Narendra Modi does. And possibly today, for Congress, it would be easier to think on those lines. So this is our two bits on whether the management change or the leadership change in Congress will work for them or not. Let us hope that they work something out and they work something out good. Like I always says, India needs a strong opposition. Now, before I end my show, I just need to tell you one thing. We have a very, very important and a very shocking story. The story comes from a place called Buldana. And in Buldana district, there's a place called Sangrampur. Now, what we have found is in Sangrampur, almost one entire village, in fact, not one, but three entire village, everybody is on dialysis. Almost everybody is on dialysis. Because almost everybody in those three villages are suffering from kidney disease. My team went there and investigated further. In fact, they actually went and checked the water and they realized that the problem of this kidney disease comes from the water. The government has done nothing about it. They have provided some ROs, but most of those ROs are not working. Nothing. 300 people have already lost their lives. And there are around 600 to 700 people who are almost critically, seriously ill. My team is doing a report tomorrow. Please do watch that report. I urge you to watch that report, and I request you to share that report to as many people as possible. Please do watch it and please do share it. Till then, namaskar.